In my opinion, a fanboy is someone who believes something is the best because they bought it and not the other way around. This is someone who ideally you would do your research and decide on the best product, but that takes time and effort. And so there's some people that instead maybe spend a second of research. Usually that means clicking on an ad, and they buy this product, and then when they're getting excited for it to get to their house, I've done this before, I'll admit it, they'll start researching the product they just bought and only click on the positive details to tell themselves they made the right choice. Taking that to the next level, that's what a fanboy is. So an example of a fanboy. Someone buys a Honda. Oh, now I own a Honda. Let me Google this new Honda Accord or something. And they go, oh, look at this. This guy likes it here. This has great handling for a car this reliable. And they just don't click on any of the ads that like something like Honda's had more recalls than any car company in the past 3 years, which I believe was true at one point recently, by the way, for you Honda fanboys. And that's not to say I'm not picking on Honda. I'm just using it as an example. They make fine cars just like almost every car company does, or they wouldn't be a company. And then they get tired of their car. Maybe they'll come up with some bullshit excuse for why they need a new one. They sell it, and they just get a new Honda. And it's not because Honda's actually better, or not because they've proven to themselves it's better. It's because they just wanted something new, and then they're going to tell themselves it was the right decision. And then slowly they become a Honda fanboy. That's an example. So I made this video after getting an argument with someone on my channel, or he kind of accused me of being an AMD fanboy, and then it turned into this weird bickering match at one point where he kind of said it clearly became about AMD fanboys being the worst, and it got me thinking, what is the difference between a Nvidia and an AMD fanboy? Because there is a difference. There really is. He was on to something. He was on to something. The way some people might put it is AMD fanboys are the worst, but Nvidia fanboys are kind of destroying PC gaming. And I would say both of those statements are partially true. Before I go any further, just because you own an AMD or Nvidia product does not mean I'm talking to you, or vice versa. I'm not calling anyone who owns something a fanboy. I'm not. But there are AMD fanboys and there are Nvidia fanboys, and there are some pretty distinct differences between them. So first, I definitely want to talk about AMD fanboys. Most AMD fans talk about price performance, and they kind of come off, or they hope, right, that they come off as a discerning customer. But these aren't the fanboys, right? A lot of if you're mostly interested in price performance, I'm sorry, this is the truth. You will usually buy an AMD graphics card. Usually AMD does have better price performance, almost always, despite what some Nvidia fans would tell you, they do. So it's easy for people who care about value, even though you could get in an argument about how much value there actually is when you're spending $1,500 overall on a PC, that extra $50 for a graphics card, But someone who looks for value in every component needs to be the best price performance. They typically get AMD products, typically. And so what can happen is you'll fall into this cycle of getting better, of looking only at the best price performance, so you get an AMD card, and then you'll get it again. And over time, you'll start drinking the Kool-Aid, though, and believing only AMD is good price performance, no matter what. They're always the best price performance, which simply isn't true. And the problem with this type of a fanboy, the AMD rabid fanboy, is that there's this self-righteousness involved. Not only am I buying the best product, but you're evil for buying something different than me. And you see it on all over the place, that AMD fanboys are on a crusade against the evil Nvidia. And they will go through absurd lengths to demonstrate that their product makes sense. Specifically, I remember getting in an argument with someone defending Bulldozer, not Pile Driver, Bulldozer FX 8150 processors, and he said, and I was gonna have links to people online I've argued with, but I decided not to, just because I don't want people swarming people for something they said 5 years ago, but he said, all you need to do is disable one core in each module and overclock it to 4.8 gigahertz. If you do that, you basically have an i5 2500K running at 3.5 gigahertz for less money, and no one notices the difference of overclocking anyways. Wow, a lot to unpack there. Never mind the fact that a lot of people don't want to go into their BIOS and do all of these, tweak all of these features, which again, that's not me. I overclock all the time. But a lot of people don't, and I get why they don't. But if you have to disable a bunch of parts, overclock a bunch of other parts, use double the energy just to meet the stock performance of the competition, that is not a good product, buddy. And that kind of mental leaps are only found with the self-righteous AMD fanboys, where they will jump through any lengths to show you that AMD is the only choice, and you're just evil if you buy something else. And these are the same people that will say, oh, well, mine's better for productivity tasks. And I use them for productivity tasks, but I know a lot of these people don't, because they say productivity tasks. No one uses an app called productivity tasks. If you say, I bought Radeon 7 because I use Blender, yes, that makes sense. But if you just say, because I do general rendering, no one does general rendering. And in fact, if you use Maya, Nvidia is probably better, by the way. So, and this is, I could go on and on. I got an argument with a guy who said you should buy an RX 480 in 2016, 3 RX 480s instead of one 1080, because you'll usually get a little more performance. And it's like, oh my god, you're using triple the energy and half of the games won't even scale and you'll be getting half the performance. And it's like, again, and you need a high-end motherboard to run that. Again, there's no reasoning with the rabid AMD fanboy, and I'd say that's the worst part of them. And there's not too many of them compared to the next group I will talk about, but they are crazy. Now, the next group I'm going to call the Nvidia fans. And I don't say fanboy, because that's not the problem. There are surely Nvidia fanboys, but they're really no different than like an Apple, Sony, or Samsung fanboy. You know, those people, you know, Apple, Sony, Samsung, they make a lot of good products. It's possible you might buy a lot of Samsung, Sony, or Apple products for legitimate reasons and you're not a fanboy. But most people who buy a ton of Apple shit are fanboys. There's just no way around it. But they make good products and you get how it happens, you know. No, I'm talking about the Nvidia fans. They're like one peg below fanboy. They're not rabid, but there's so many of them, and that's the issue here. In college, I remember driving to a club practice with someone who was in the same club as me, and he told me how he was so proud he bought a GTX 550 Ti, 2 gigabyte. That's right, that was one of those $200 cards you could only buy at Best Buy that had like half the performance of a 6850 or 6870 that costs the same or less money. And why? Why did he do that? It's because he thought, oh, more video RAM would be good. And he just Googled Nvidia graphics card, $200, and that's what popped up. And he just bought the first thing that popped up, and that's what a Nvidia fan is. I was certainly guilty of it at one point. It's easy to not even realize AMD exists when you get into PC gaming. Nvidia's marketing is everywhere, and their website is frankly just completely superior to AMD's. I mean, they even have charts showing like generation by generation, like a bar graph performance, so you can say, oh, this is stronger than this previous gen Nvidia card. It's so easy to use and find the card you want. I get why a lot of people's first cards are Nvidia cards. I do get it. But these fans basically are someone who bought the first ad they saw. They saw a Nvidia ad, they had a price point, they bought the card, and they never grew as a person. And they continue to buy Nvidia cards over and over and over. This is how you see 1050 Ti's selling for more money than 570s. It's these people that just buy Nvidia, and they just continue to drink the Kool-Aid. Not as much as the crazy AMD people, but they'll say, oh, PhysX, GamesWorks, and the new version of PhysX and GameWorks, DLSS and ray tracing, and that's all they needed. They just needed that checkbox on the ad. Oh, a new feature. AMD doesn't have that. I should keep buying Nvidia. And they're just the lazy gamer, right? They're that person that saw a Bitcoin ad and opened a Coinbase account, and because they opened a Coinbase account, they call themselves a cryptocurrency expert, even though they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. They're just the lazy gamer who bought an ad and continues to buy into a company no matter what they do. Now, that's changing a little bit because it's gotten out of hand with RTX, but it's a problem. You know, so that's the difference I see. AMD fanboys are self-righteous and rabid, even though there aren't that many of them, really. Most people who own AMD products just want good price performance. And then there's just a legion of Nvidia fans that aren't rabid fanboys, but, I mean, there's a lot of people buying into the same bullshit over and over without thinking, and it makes it really hard for anyone, AMD or even Intel graphics soon, to get into the market and compete. And the last thing I'll add is I want to get ahead of this early in my YouTube channel's life. I'm not a fanboy, and I don't care if you call me a fanboy. I'm just passionate, and I put a lot of thought into my actions and the things I buy. So I have a lot of reasons for defending certain things. Just because I have a lot of reasons for something doesn't mean I'm a fanboy. It's just these are all of the things I've thought about ahead of time. And if you can't come up with as many reasons to fight me on it, that doesn't mean I'm not a fanboy for talking more. That just means you're talking less. And I hate saying this because it feels like such bullshit. I own Nvidia, AMD, and Intel products right now. And in fact, it's a lot of Intel products that's for whatever reasons, right? And I've almost always had an Nvidia and an AMD graphics card for different use cases over the past 10 years. So I don't need to defend anything. I own all of them. I don't swear off any of these companies, and I always look into new product launches, and I always hope for the best. I was hoping the 2080 Ti would end up being $700 with this level of performance, and it just wasn't, so I'm not getting it. And I think you can hopefully tell how many people I've argued with who are Nvidia and AMD fanboys. And when you have both sides calling you a fanboy every other day, you know you're probably just a balanced person, right? It's like if everyone who's a Republican thinks you're a Democrat and everyone who's a Democrat thinks you're a Republican, you're probably just thinking about every issue. All right, I thought this was a fun video. One thing I will say too is, if you liked it, you thought I brought up good points, share it. You know, the channel has a decent amount of followers now, but I think more would be great to add to these conversations we've been having in the comments section. All right, thanks everyone.